We will start by finding your most comfortable seated position. So that might be in a chair, that might be sitting cross-legged on the floor, that might be lying down on your back. I invite you to do whatever feels the most relaxing. And you might wiggle a little bit to get there. You might adjust the hips side to side or front to back. You might, roll the neck a little bit and see if there's any creaks or, little areas of tension that you can invite to relax. You might shake out the shoulders and do a little bit of movement to bring the shoulders slowly away from the ears. Sometimes it's helpful to actually put a little tension in the shoulders so that you can drop them and feel the difference between what do tense shoulders feel like. They just creep up there, we don't even know, and what do relaxed shoulders feel like. And I'm not saying you're going to be perfect to relax, right? A lot of us hold residual tension in our body. We're just inviting an improvement. Even 1% more relaxed is a step in the right direction. And I'll invite you to just find your breath. We're going to do a little bit of movement with the breath today. So you don't have to change the breath. You don't have to do anything special. Just see where it's resting. Is the breath more in your chest? This is where a lot of people notice the breath the most. It's not right or wrong. Some people notice the breath right underneath the nose, and you can feel it coming into the sinus cavities and out the sinus cavities. Maybe that's where you're noticing the breath. Maybe you can feel the breath in the ribs as the intercostal muscles work and expand as you exhale and expand as you inhale and contract as you exhale, helping the lungs get really big and full of air and helping the lungs squeeze the air out. Or maybe you feel the breath in the belly, and maybe you invite the breath down into the belly. And these don't have to be big breaths. They don't have to be particularly deep breaths, but you might invite the breath to be a little bit longer, just a tiny bit longer than what you've been naturally breathing. Letting the belly come in, watching the belly rise, and letting the breath out, watching the belly fall. And maybe you want to move with your breath, inhaling the arms up overhead, and exhaling the arms down. Inhaling the arms overhead, and maybe this time we exhale into a twist where one arm comes in front and one arm comes to the back, just gently. Breathing here, a full inhale and a full exhale. And on your next inhale, bring the arms back up to twist on the other side. Bringing the opposite arm in the front and the opposite arm in the back. And inhaling and exhaling on this side. Again, no need to push yourself. 80% is always more than enough. And if you've lost the breath, you've kind of lost the pose. So be gentle with yourself. Think about matching the breath to the movement. And then on your next inhale, we'll bring the arms up one more time, looking up, maybe putting a little back bend in the spine. And when you're ready, slowly let the arms come down by your side. Maybe we put some movement into the wrists if that feels good to you today. It's another place where you might feel some pops and clicks, and as long as there's no pain, that's fine. We're just exploring, what does the body feel like today? Where's the tension? Can we reduce it by any amount? Sometimes it feels good to press the palms together and pull the wrists towards the body. Some people have a lot of flexibility and they can turn the fingertips away from the face, and that feels really good on the wrists. But there's no pressure to go deeper than what feels good in your body. And for some people, this isn't enough, and maybe you want to use the opposite hand to put some a little more stretch in the wrist and see how that feels on either side. And you can do the same thing with the fingertips down to feel the stretch on the top of the wrist. Just exploring, what does the body feel like today? How is it the same or the different on the left and the right sides? And then shaking out the hands, moving the fingers. And we'll put a little movement into our spine with some really gentle circles. And these can be as big or as small as you like. The bigger they are, the more you can test your balance. The smaller they are, the more you might play with really controlled movements. And we add the breath here too. Maybe inhaling as you come forward and exhaling as you come to the back. Or maybe you inhale for a full circle and then exhale for a full circle. See what feels good in your body. See what matches what your body wants to do. And then when you feel like it's a good time to switch, we can go the opposite direction. And again, see, where does the breath fit into your movements? Maybe it's an inhale for half the circle and an exhale for half the circle. Or maybe it's an inhale for the full circle around and then an exhale for the next. Figure out what matches your pace and what matches how your breath is breathing you today. And then when you're ready, we'll come up back into our nice tall seat. Maybe you march the feet, or maybe you stretch the legs out straight, whatever you need to do to really feel like your legs are in a good place. Some people like to open and close the knees, or maybe you rotate the ankles. It's your practice, you decide, or maybe you feel like, no, I'm ready to be still, and that's fine too. However quickly or slowly you find yourself in some stillness, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that we feel, all right, we've gotten the energy out. Now I'm ready to sit. Because if you're sitting and you're feeling really agitated, it's going to be really hard to calm the mind. It's going to be really hard to get into the breathing and the meditation. So once you have found yourself a comfortable seat, or like I said, you're welcome to lie down. You're welcome to put something behind your back, or you're welcome to self-support. There's no one right or wrong way to sit for meditation. I think a lot of people think there's this like peak posture where we're sitting in lotus and we have our hands together and we're perfectly still. But if you're not comfortable doing that, then that's probably not the best meditation posture for you. And if you like, you can close your eyes, but that's not entirely required. So if that's not comfortable for you for any reason today, just lower your gaze. Just find a little speck of something that you can look at. Maybe you make your eyes go a little fuzzy. Maybe you close your eyes halfway so there's still some light coming in. Whatever feels good in your body. And we'll do 10 really slow breaths to settle ourselves down, to get into the space. And so as you inhale and exhale and count 10, don't have to match my pace. You can breathe as quickly or slowly as you like. Slowly inhaling and exhaling. Again, experimenting with elongating that exhale and count 9 and carrying on like that. It seems silly, but it's really easy to lose track. So don't worry if that's you. You didn't do it wrong. If a thought came in, you didn't do it wrong. If you were like, oh, I don't remember what number I'm on, you just start back at 10. We're not arriving anywhere. If you find yourself breathing quickly and you get to 0, no big deal. You just start back at 10. This is a practice of noticing the breath. It is called Shinay meditation. It is sitting with the breath. It is using the breath as the object of meditation. There is no end. There is no perfecting this technique. We're just experimenting with how busy is the mind, because all of our minds are very, very busy. And we see if we can settle it just a little bit by giving the mind something else to focus on. And right now it's focusing on inhaling, exhaling, and counting. And then wherever you are, finish your next exhale and just allow the breathing to return to normal. Let go of the counting. See how the breath feels. Where is it? Is it on the upper lip? Is it in the chest? Is it in the ribs? Is it in the belly? And then invite the breath into the back side of the body. Often we live in the frontal plane and we kind of forget because we can't see it. See if you can breathe into your upper ribs in the back side of the body. Invite the breath all the way down into the lower ribs, all the way down by your kidneys. If you have something behind you, see if you can make your ribs expand so that it puts a little pressure against what's behind you. Or if you like, you can use your hands on the low ribs and see if the hands move as you breathe into the backside body. And we'll breathe up the spine into the crown of the head. And then exhale from the crown of the head down into the root. And you may like to experiment with colors as you're doing this. Inhaling, the root chakra color is red, all the way up to the crown chakra, which is a brilliant, bright white. Maybe the colors don't resonate with you, which is fine. You just imagine tracing the line from your skull down your cervical spine, down your thoracic spine, down your lumbar spine, all the way to the tip of the tailbone. And then you visualize inhaling all the way up from the tip of the tailbone, each one of the vertebrae, all the way up through the back, through the neck, all the way up to the crown of the head. You might notice that your chin is a little bit forward. It's really super common. Maybe you tuck the chin a little bit so that the head, the neck, the spine is all in one nice straight line. Inhaling up the curve of the lower back, the hump of the upper back, the curve of the neck, all the way up to the top of the skull. And exhaling down over the skull, the curve of the neck, the back, the curve in the lower back, down to the tailbone. Like a nice winding river. Your spine, we say you don't have a straight spine, but we don't mean it literally. We want to have those gentle S curves. They're really important. And we'll do 2 more breaths like this, inhaling from the tip of the tailbone to the crown of the head, and exhaling from the crown of the head down to the tip of the tailbone. In your own pace, your own time, there's no rush. And then again, let your breathing return to normal, letting go of the light. If that was an object that you chose, letting go of tracing the breath up your spine. And we'll come into our heart space. Breathing with your heartbeat. Maybe you can feel your heartbeat. Some people can. Maybe you can visualize what that heartbeat is like, how fast it is. And we're going to cultivate a really positive emotion. This is up to you what you want to feel, if it's joy or happiness or elation or contentment or peace or hope. Pick one, the first one that comes to your mind. It doesn't have to be the best emotion. You don't have to overthink it. Just whatever comes is it's the right thing for right now. You can do this meditation anytime with a different emotion later on if you choose. And we're going to build that emotion in the heart space. So imagine inhaling, bringing that emotion into your heart, and exhaling, sending that emotion out to the rest of the world so they can share in this really positive feeling. Inhaling, letting the emotion come into your heart, growing, getting really big so that it's really encompassing your whole body so you can feel what that emotion feels like. And as you exhale, share it with the people that you care about, with your neighbors, with your colleagues, with your friends, with strangers. Inhaling to bring it to yourself, and exhaling to share with others. And let this emotion really get big. What does it feel like? What does it look like when you're experiencing it? What's happening with your expression? What kinds of things are you doing or thinking? How does this emotion positively impact you, your life, the people you interact with? And then what's a really small thing you can do to keep some of this emotion, some of this positive intent, some of this upbeat, really good feeling with you for the rest of the day? Just one little tiny thing. Just tuck it away, think about it, and let it go into the universe. And let this go. We're going to end with a tense and release body scan. Some people really like this because they get to stretch their muscles and move a little bit through the body scan. And other people it doesn't work so well for. So if you don't like the tense and release part, you can do a regular body scan where you just gently rest your attention on each part of the body as it's mentioned. But if you want to try the tense and release, start with the right toes. And you might point the right toes to put some tension in that foot, or you might scrunch up the right toes so that it's like they're gripping the floor. And then let that go and see how it feels in your body to go from holding on to tension to releasing that tension. And the same thing with the right ankle. Maybe you point the foot, or maybe you flex the foot, so you're really engaging those ankle muscles. And then release and let go and see how is it different. And then moving up to the calf, contracting the calf muscles and releasing the calf muscles. And the thigh on the right side, tensing, tightening, engaging the thigh, and then relaxing, letting it go, letting it be loose. And go through the same thing on the left. So bringing the attention to the left toes, and maybe you press the toes away or point the toes, or maybe you grip the floor with the toes or engage that foot, and then let it go. And moving into the ankle, Engaging the ankle muscles, pressing into the floor or pointing the foot, and then relaxing. Engaging the calf muscles on the left side, making them tense and tight, and then making them relaxed. Make it easy. And then moving into the left thigh, engaging the quadriceps, pressing into the floor, or thinking about pulling the leg into the hip crease, and then letting it all go. Engaging the lower abdominals by either imagining pressing your belly out, or you could do like a pulling the belly up, like you're holding in your pee, and then relaxing and letting it all go, and letting the chair hold you, letting the ground hold you, being really relaxed. Same thing in the posterior, engaging the glutes and bringing your two butt cheeks together, and then letting them go and letting them be relaxed and letting the ground hold you. And then moving up into your pectorals, engaging the muscles in the chest, pulling it in, making it feel tight, and then relaxing and releasing, feeling the difference. Engaging the back, bringing the shoulder blades together, and then relaxing them open. Engaging the muscles in the right arm, bicep, and then relaxing. Engaging the muscles in the low arm. You can do this by moving the hand, making a fist, and then relaxing. Engaging the bicep on the left side, and then relaxing and engaging the lower arm on the left, and letting it all go. Bringing some tension into the shoulders, into the neck, and then exhaling and letting that be heavy and free, letting gravity bring the shoulders back down to a friendly place. Gently closing the teeth together, putting a little tension in the jaw. This is another place a lot of people hold tension, even unknowingly. And then relaxing and separating the teeth and bringing the tongue off the roof of the mouth if it's got stuck up there, maybe wiggling it around in your mouth. And then tightening the muscles around the eyes. We have a lot of muscles all around the eye sockets. And then relaxing and letting the eyes be heavy, letting them fall back in the sockets. And then finally, we'll tense the whole body. And exhale to release. And one more. Tensing the whole body. And then exhale to release. In your own time, if your eyes are closed, you may want to bring the hands up to meet the eyes and blink open the eyes slowly and gently. There is no rush. Come back into the light, into the busyness of every day with a little bit of self-compassion, a lot of grace. And thanks for practicing with me today.